Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, is looking into the authenticity of the files Azimio La Umoja One Kenya released on January 18th to support claims that the opposition alliance emerged victorious in Kenya's August 9th, 2022 presidential election.
Raila Odinga, who lost narrowly to President William Ruto, is banking on the alleged dossier by an IEBC insider to allege manipulation of votes in the last polls. The opposition leader has claimed that he won the elections, contrary to the results officially declared by the IEBC, asking Ruto to resign from office. Joining us now is Kenyan International Affairs analyst Gekuna Njima Castro to give us updates on this. Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. Raila has launched an aggressive political campaign to discredit Ruto's win and has planned a series of political rallies across the country to resist the Kenya Kwanza government. What more can you tell us about this development?
Thank you this morning for having me. The current development about the Kenyan political space, it has escalated, of course, with the latest or last year general elections. This started last week when Raila Odinga moved to South Africa and was coming back. There was a report alleged to have come from IEBC, that is the IEBC whistleblower. And this is the information that has been trending, or it's in public domain, especially in social media, that Raila Odinga won election against now the President William Ruto. And it is said, or they are alleging that Raila Odinga won this election by a margin of, or by 8 million votes against William Ruto, who is said to have won the, who is said to have scored or have garnered 5 million votes. And all this issue now has brought up a story because we have seen now the opposition leader, Raila Odinga. He has planned rallies, the public rallies, and Maandamano calling out President William Ruto to out of office because they are claiming that he didn't win this election fairly, and they are alleging that it is now Raila Odinga who is supposed to occupy this state house because he garnered 8 million votes. So this escalation, we have seen it, and this is the current development in the Kenyan political space. And the DCI, or the Director of Criminal Investigation, has launched a probe because he claimed that there are people, there are respondents who have claimed that the information in the public domain is not authentic, and it is, or it contains information that is, of course, they are claiming that is in the public, it is not authentic, and it is not good for the public consumption at this time, because its authenticity is not tested. Neither is it fair to claim that Raila Odinga garnered the 8 million votes without clearly justifying and testifying how this election, how these votes scored, were scored.
Now, I also want us to talk about the investigations. You know, they're seeking to establish the authenticity of the dossier by Raila's IEBC whistleblower, which of course is thrusting the opposition boss into possible summons. What far-reaching effect can this have on the presidency? Because Raila is accusing, you know, the Ruto government of some level of fraud, along with the Electoral Commission. While of course now he is going to be investigated, for this whistleblower claims. You may also want to throw in the Wajakoya claims that his 2.8 million votes were stolen. So let's also have a conversation about that.
Of course, there have been so many allegations that this election was fraudulent, and a lot of manipulation were done. And in that case, now the DCI has come in now to probe the allegations and the claims. And now the issue of Wajakoya claiming that his 2 million votes were actually stolen, it is also not justifiable, because Wajakoya was never even justified this issue in the Supreme Court. And also the information that Raila Odinga has now and claiming to have come from the from the IEBC whistleblower, it's again another issue that is not justifiable, and neither can it be used in public domain as per now, because its authenticity, and it is claimed to be of the information, it's falsified, and also, of course, the documents, they are forgery. That's now what the DCI is trying to actually investigate about the forgery, the falsification of the document, and also the information that may actually be of emotive nature, may be moving clouds, and also, of course, now escalating badly in the public domain. And also, there are some supporters. Of course, there are supporters of Azimio, and that is their mother parties and partnering parties in the Azimio, that they are claiming also in their legions, just like the Secretary General of Jubilee Party, Mheshimiwa Jeremiah Kioni, claimed that over 2 million votes they were leaked out in the Mount Kenya region, and that is also an information that the DCI is trying to dig into to see how this forgery and this manipulation and electoral injustice was actually performed. And going forward, now we shall, of course, see more and more issues happening, because Raila Odinga now claims that this guy cannot actually prove these electoral malpractices, because he's an appointee of the government, and being an appointee of the government and the appointee of the president is not the right person to actually do this job of proving electoral justice. So he has called on actually the international community, that the United Nations and the Commonwealth Secretariat, actually help in or come in 2 weeks' time to try and dig out this issue of electoral practices here in Kenya.
All right, we've seen that there have been conversations about the countrywide protest that Raila Odinga is organizing. There have been reports that the next rallies will be in Kibera and then Machakos. There have been several speculations, but there have been numbers as well. Let's talk about, how this is impacting governance in Kenya. And I ask this because there are challenges that the people of Kenya are facing. There's the fuel, people complain about the fuel, people complain about the economy. How would you say this is impacting governance? Would you say that this is some form of a distraction to William Ruto from actually playing his part as president and implementing the promises made to the people of Kenya?
I would actually say yes, this is plans to derail the government and, of course, to pull it back. Of course, they are also, the end game of it all, the manos, the rallies branched across the country. It is to actually manipulate the government and actually to try to compromise and bring up the negotiations, which has a great impact in the Kenyan economy. Having actually predicted that the Kenyan economy is very optimistic and will be doing good in the coming 2 years, that makes it now pull back, or it delay back the growing economy of Kenya, and the political instability will be seen, and now then political insecurity gets in. So it's I think that Kenyans cannot wish, and actually the public they are not actually getting much enticed and on this matter, because they have just come out of the general elections. They are actually also healing from the very harsh conditions and consequences of the COVID-19, and the economy is actually showing to grow or to come out very good in the coming 2 years. And this is not what Kenyans would wish to. So the government has a plan, and I think that is what Kenyans have embraced, because even when the president visited the backyard of Raila Odinga, actually people embraced him, and of course now this is the time that people have realized that it is a working government that has structures, and William Ruto is of course conscious of running this government. and it will drive the growing of the economy, because we have now the international communities or international investors who want to come in to invest in Kenya. Of course, now they will feel like Kenya is not now the right time to come in and, of course, set up manufacturing companies there, or set up businesses that actually would spur economic growth in the Kenya and, of course, in the region. And this political instability may cause more harm to Kenyans than Raila Odinga think may do good to him.
All right. Gakuna Njima Castro, thank you very much for your time with us this morning. We'll come back again to follow up with this conversation, and we hope that you would avail us of your time.
Thank you so much for having me.